Love you too, buddy.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at scenes that epitomize why these are the worst MCU movies. Keep in mind that some moments contain spoilers.
How's your eye?
Getting better every second.
Superhero names, the Marvels.
Nova, Supernova Girl, Spectrum, Spectrum Vision. Vision! Oh, wait, no.
These cosmic heroines just didn't have what it takes to stand out. That may have been because of studio interference or lack of planning. Either way, most can agree that the writing didn't make use of the actors' chemistry. We're instead treated to some of the genre's most tired cliches, such as codename workshopping. Variations of this scene used to be in just about every superhero movie.
Firefly, Nightlight, Countess Marvel, Mistress Marvel, Dr. Marvel, Dr. Bright.
At this point, the gag is pretty drawn out. Why didn't Monica just immediately settle on her mother's call sign as her name? Photon would have been perfect. The Marvels was widely criticized for being just another typical superhero flick.
Sometimes I have to tell you guys, I do not want or need a code name. Why? Besides, none of it matters if we're not coordinated out there.
Want to figure out this switching thing?
Power stay activated after a switch. Good to know.
This is sadly a perfect representation of that issue.
1, 2, 3, go.
Now, why would you say go if we're going on 3? I'm aware.
Dreykov reveals Taskmaster's identity, Black Widow.
Say hello.
If viewers weren't happy by this point in the film, they were certainly disappointed by this villain reveal. Instead of being the witty mercenary from the comics, Taskmaster turned out to be Antonia Dreykov, a brainwashed Red Room assassin.
When your bomb exploded, it nearly killed my Antonia. I had to put a chip in the back of her neck. In the back of her neck.
Writer Eric Pearson claimed that this change was meant to keep the story grounded while also having that fantastical Marvel element. We understand where he's coming from, but the decision didn't satisfy anybody.
She watches everything. And she can do it. She's a perfect mimic.
Comic fans felt the character wasn't portrayed accurately. General audiences found her to be a bland villain. Some minor tweaks to the plot could have made a world of difference, and Taskmaster would have been a good place to start.
You want to tell her you're sorry? Well, you should have thought of that before you blew her face off. Enough of all this bullshit. Go to work. I have rats in the basement, go.
The Ice Cream Song, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Mom?
Yes, sweetheart?
Where are you going?
Just to take out the trash.
Despite his great directing, Sam Raimi couldn't save the script's bad dialogue.
Start it. No, I want to start it. I want to start it.
Why don't you both start?
Take, for instance, Billy and Tommy's song about wanting ice cream. It's easy to use the word cringe when talking about bad Marvel moments, but it's the only way to describe this. On paper, it's a good idea to remind us why Wanda is desperate to find her sons, even if they're from another reality.
We like ice cream like every child should. And if we get some ice cream, we promise to be good.
She is, after all, a mother who just lost her family. But in execution, it falls short. The scene tries way too hard to tug at our heartstrings, which ends up making it harder to empathize with the Scarlet Witch. Their sappy song only makes them feel more artificial than her actual kids. The real way Fury lost his eye, Captain Marvel.
You know anything about a lady blowing a hole through the roof of that Blockbuster over there?
This female-led prequel received mixed reactions. One issue is that it wasted the potential of its characters. Nowhere is that clearer than Nick Fury. Towards the end of the film, the alien feline Goose scratches the SHIELD agent's eye, leaving him permanently scarred.
That was a close call, huh, Goosey? Huh? Those bad guys still in there somewhere. Ow! Motherfucking!
If you were expecting a more dramatic backstory for his eye patch, you're not alone.
No.
Just about everyone believed there was some kind of tale to tell about it. The explanation turning out to be a bad joke felt like a huge letdown.
You okay?
Yeah, it's just a scratch.
It seemed to waste years of clues spread throughout the movies. It sadly represents a lot of the missed opportunities in Captain Marvel.
Wait, oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
Phastos and the Atomic Bomb, Eternals. One of Marvel's boldest projects didn't quite connect with audiences. This may be a reason why.
You like the costume?
We need to talk.
Tell the director I have some notes
We
for
need
him.
to talk to you in private.
Oh, Karan, he's worked with me for 50 years. I trust him completely.
In the film, it's revealed that the Eternal Phastos helped evolve human technology. He later comes to regret this after the fallout of the atomic bomb. While it does expand the MCU's history, it seems rather insensitive. Did they really need to shift the blame of a real-world atrocity onto a gay character? It also just doesn't make much sense that this is the event that makes him feel guilty.
I did this. If my technology hadn't helped them advance, Chewie was right. Our mission was a mistake.
What about the thousands of years of war before the 20th century? If they wanted to give Phastos good character motivation, that would have sufficed.
These people, they're not worth saving. They're not worth saving.
Axel's head, Thor: Love and Thunder.
I no longer go by the name Astrid. I'm now known as Axel.
Most can agree that this movie was plagued with forced humor and some poor CGI. The scene in which Heimdall's son contacts Thor is the best example of both flaws. It starts with Axel's floating head appearing out of nowhere, accompanied by visual effects that make this look more like a parody than an actual superhero movie. And the less said about the terrible banter, the better.
He's a singer from a popular band I heard on Earth.
Gina. Astrid, your father gave you a very tough Viking name, and I intend to honor his wishes.
Axel.
Astrid.
I said Axel.
Astrid.
Axel!
It's asshole. Now listen to him.
Aye, fine. Axel, where are you?
I'm not sure. I don't know how to use my magic eyes yet.
On a budget of $250,000, you think we get astounding VFX and jokes that actually land. It seemed to work with Ragnarok.
Thor? Can you see me?
Floating head alert.
It's Astrid, Heimdall's son.
Astrid, are you okay?
Kang's easy defeat. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
I don't have to win.
We could chalk up the film's failures to MODOK, but he was just a sidekick after all.
Surprised to see me?
In a better movie, he could have been a fun addition. What drags down this movie is its main villain. Kang loses nearly all of his fights, whether against MODOK, Ant-Man, or an army of ants. On one hand, we get that the filmmakers wanted to show how Scott would deal with an Avengers-level threat. But in the end, they overplayed the underdog angle, which made Kang's defeat feel too easy.
But you thought you could win.
They also completely lacked a compelling rivalry. The film not only failed to be a solid bookend to the trilogy, it was a poor setup for the MCU's next big bad. Well, intended next big bad.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Jane absorbs the ether, Thor: The Dark World. After absorbing a weapon known as the ether, Jane Foster is taken to Asgard, finding herself as the proverbial fish out of water. In the first film, she acted as Thor's guide on Earth, so flipping their roles for the sequel seemed like a decent idea. Unfortunately, that's about where the fun of this concept ends. Jane essentially becomes both a MacGuffin and a typical damsel in distress, removing any agency she had before. Now she's largely sidelined, and her clash with Asgardian culture is barely explored. She kind of just follows Thor around. It's hard not to see why the subsequent film dropped Jane altogether.
Jane!
you didn't call the police.
What was I supposed to do? Not call the police?
There are more things wrong with these films than we've listed. What did we miss? Jan Rog's defeat? Thor's awkward humor? Let us know in the comments down below.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.